All right, today we are putting on our detective hats. We're investigating a single stock, ticker CVU, because frankly, it's sending some of the most bizarre, contradictory signals I've seen in a very long time. This one is a real head-scratcher.
So let's get right to the heart of the mystery. This is the big question. You see a stock that's been beaten down, it's near its absolute low for the year, and then bam, a massive frenzy of activity. So what is this? Is this the moment you jump in thinking you're getting a huge bargain? Or is this a classic trap designed to suck you in right before the floor drops out?
To figure this out, like any good investigation, we have to start by setting the scene. We need to look at the basic facts of the case before we dive into the clues.
Okay, fact number one, CVU has not been having a good year at all. It's stuck in a downtrend and its price is just barely hanging on, only about 8.5% above its lowest point for the entire year. So on the surface, things look pretty gloomy for this stock.
Now, hold on. Before we go any further, there's a key term we need to understand here: beta. The easiest way to think of it is as a stock's personality. If the market is a big, rowdy party, a stock with a beta of 1 is right there in the middle of the dance floor. A beta over 1 is swinging from the chandeliers. And a beta under 1, well, that's the quiet one sitting in the corner, just chilling.
And right here, we find our first really strange clue. CVU's beta is incredibly low, just 0.106. This tells us that historically, this stock is super calm, way less volatile than the overall market. You know, it's supposed to be the quiet one, but suddenly, it's making a whole lot of noise.
Okay, so let's get to our first major piece of evidence. And trust me, it is a big one. It's all about the trading volume. This is where the mystery really starts to heat up.
And this is where things just get wild. That number, almost 49, means that this stock is trading at nearly 50 times its normal average volume. Think about that. This isn't just a busy day at the office. This is an absolute frenzy. So the billion-dollar question is all this excitement good or bad?
And here is our first massive contradiction. We have two different tools to analyze all this volume, and they're telling us completely opposite stories. On one hand, the on-balance volume is positive. That basically means more action is happening on up days, which suggests buyers are jumping in. But at the exact same time, the accumulation/distribution line is negative. This hints that maybe, just maybe, someone is quietly selling into all this excitement, creating hidden pressure.
So here's the deal. The volume is practically screaming for our attention, but it's speaking in riddles. Is this a genuine flood of new buyers who think the stock is a steal? Or is it a classic volume trap, where the big fish are just offloading their shares to a crowd of hopeful investors?
Let's keep going. If that crazy volume was our first clue, then the technical indicators are our witnesses. And, just like in a classic whodunit, all of our witnesses are telling different stories. Their testimonies just don't line up.
I mean, look at this. You've got two different momentum detectors and they can't agree. The MACD is hinting that the sellers are getting tired, that the downward push is losing steam. But then the ultimate oscillator comes in and says, nope, things still look pretty weak overall. They can't both be right, can they?
Oh, but it gets even weirder. Check this out. Two very similar sounding indicators are giving us polar opposite signals. The stock RSI is cranked all the way up to 100. That's a textbook overbought signal. It's like a warning light saying this thing has gone up way too far, way too fast. But then, the classic stochastic indicator is firmly in a selling zone, suggesting the bears are still calling the shots. It makes no sense.
And the list just goes on and on. You've got the RSI sitting there, kind of neutral. The CCI is screaming overbought at the top of its lungs. The price is pushing the top of its Bollinger Band, which is usually a bullish sign. But then another indicator called TREX is still pointing firmly down. It's a total mess. This is what it looks like when the market itself has absolutely no idea what to make of a stock.
So with all these conflicting witness testimonies, we have to turn to the hard evidence. It's time for some forensics. Let's map out the crime scene, so to speak, by looking at the key price levels that are going to define this whole battle.
These are the numbers that truly matter right now. The stock is at 265. Below that price, you've got two floors, support levels, at 235 and a much stronger one down at 192. And above the current price, you've got two ceilings, resistance levels, a pivot at $3.28 and the big one at $4.02. These are the lines in the sand.
And here's the visual. The stock is caught right in the middle of this big fight. The whole question is, will it break down through that floor at 192?
Or can it somehow find the energy to punch through that ceiling up at 402? The entire future of this stock is going to be decided between these two levels.
Okay, we've looked at all the evidence. The downtrend, the weirdly low volatility, that absolutely insane volume spike, and all the conflicting signals from our witnesses. It's time for a verdict. Based on everything we've seen, there are really only 3 ways this story can end.
So it all boils down to this. First, the bullish scenario. That crazy volume was the smart money getting in early. If the price can break above 3.28, its next target is 4.02. Then there's the bearish case. The downtrend wins, the volume was a trap, and a break below support sends us tumbling down towards 1.92. And finally, the neutral scenario. The stock just gets stuck, chopping sideways between those key levels as the bulls and bears just fight it out to a standstill.
And that's where we have to leave our investigation for now. We have a stock with a very quiet past that has suddenly found itself at the center of an epic tug-of-war. The evidence is confusing, the witnesses can't be trusted, but the battle lines are drawn with absolute clarity. The evidence is all in. The only question left is, which side is going to win?